Speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, a brand new series for you. So this is basically going to be a little bit of a chat video, nice and relaxed. I don't have any notes, so I'm pretty much just going to be talking from the top of my head. Hopefully, hopefully it all goes well. Today we're going to be talking about motivation. Now, I came up with this little series because basically my chills and chats and my Q&As seem to be very popular, some good feedback, and I thought it'd be nice to expand the sort of one-to-one scenario and have some more chats. So my channel slogan is The Wonders of Warhammer 40k, so I thought it'd be pretty apt to call this The Wonders of, and then each video will have a separate title. So yeah, motivation on this one. Now if you want to make a video response to this yourself on any of the topics that I'm talking about, then that'd be fantastic. Be good to see some extra sort of feedback as such. But yeah, motivation. And the reason why I've chosen this topic to talk about is because it's something which I get asked about quite a lot, because obviously I am pretty active within the hobby, either on YouTube, obviously on my blog, and also obviously the actual hobby itself. So I'm just have a sip of coffee and we'll get chatting. So motivation. Now I've been in the hobby for quite some time. I think it's probably about 14 years, 15 years. So quite a reasonable amount of time, and I've never suffered from hobby burnout, which I obviously know. I know what it is. I've never had it. I've never had a day where I've just not wanted to do something. So I want to run through where I started, where I am now. Just generally talk about, maybe try to discover discover why that is. Maybe even help some of you guys, because I know some of you do get burnout. I can understand why, and it is understandable, but like I said, I've never suffered from it. I mean, maybe I will do one day, but as of yet, no. So I think it's probably fair to say that right from the very beginning, I've always had this huge motivation to do stuff really within the hobby. I mean, I remember when I first started making my Necron terrain, pretty soon after I decided the Necrons was my army, got the codex, got inspired by the pictures in the codex at the back, thought, yeah, I want to make some of that terrain. And I remembered I had a couple of my buddies round. I had like a plain board. We were just using like jars, cups and stuff for terrain. And then the next week they came round and I had my Necron Abyss made. And I still remember this to this day, my buddies' reaction to the fact that in a week I'd made this piece of terrain. And they couldn't believe it. It's like, wow, you made that in a week, wow. So I suppose, yeah, I've always had, right from the beginning, huge amount of enthusiasm for the hobby, the game, making army lists. I think the only thing that I probably am not enthused about is the fluff side of the hobby. It's the only thing that really I'm just not into the fluff basically. But everything else, I really, really love. And in those early days, I remember I used to play once a week. Have a battle, say 1,000 points, Necron army, have a game. Game would finish, buddies went to bed, and I remember I wrote my army list ready for the next game. I was straight after the game. It's like, right now, trying to work out the army list and how to change it and things like that. So I've always had that enthusiasm. So it's like trying to work out, well, where does that come from? Obviously, a certain amount of that enthusiasm, the motivation, is just, I suppose, me as a character. That is just me, I suppose. And looking back and away from the hobby, I suppose I am pretty enthusiastic, pretty motivated with most things, as long as I've got any interest in them. My other hobby, which is snooker. I mean, when I was younger, I used to go to snooker every night after work. I used to finish work, go to the snooker club an hour, have a practice, come home, have my tea and stuff. Because I was enthusiastic and dedicated to trying to improve my game. Now, if there's something which I'm not very keen on, not very enthusiastic about, then I don't have the motivation for it. So I suppose you've got to love the hobby to have the enthusiasm. So putting that aside, how do I go about keeping that enthusiasm? Now, like I said, this is just like trying to throw thoughts out that I'm thinking that maybe is the reason, and maybe potentially some stuff may come up that might help you. So I have like a motto which I've always had right from the beginning, and that motto is, as long as I'm doing something towards the hobby, then I'm happy. So whether that's like writing an army list, making a model, painting something, watching a YouTube video, working out the codex, whatever that may be, as long as I'm doing something, then that's okay. So that's what I try to do. I try to do something pretty much every day if I can, which doesn't necessarily always mean picking up a model and painting it. It may mean another stuff, even if it's just thinking about something. Thinking about a new army list, a new idea, a new unit that I want to play and how I'm going to incorporate it into my list. Because some days, obviously, you've got work and you've got other commitments and you just don't get time to do any hobby stuff. And that's obviously understandable. Doesn't mean you can't think about it. And the other thing as well, which I find probably helps a lot, is although I do an awful lot within the hobby, I don't set myself too many targets, not big targets. I do targets, but they're always very small. And I think you can see how I work really with my Space Wolves updates, because I upload my Space Wolves pretty much in the targets that I set. So I might say, right, I want to highlight the pink. That's going to be my next project, whether it takes 1 or 2 painting sessions. That is my target, and I don't think about anything else on the wolves. I don't think about, oh yeah, how am I going to do this with them? Oh my god, I've got to do the freehand, got to paint this, got to do that. All I concentrate is, right, I want to paint the pink, and then that's it. And I just focus it all down into that one little mission. And I'll paint the pink, and obviously I'll do the upload, and then I think, right, what am I going to do next? So okay, so next I'm going to do the freehand. And just take it one piece at a time, and that really helps. It keeps things sensible, keeps things sane. Now, I am a huge fan of batch painting anyway. I do have a video in the archives called How to Batch Paint. It's quite an old one, but it's got all of the things that I do with batch painting. So if you are interested in that, it might be worth checking that out. I'll see if I can put a link in the description below for you. Then the other thing that I suppose is a huge factor to my motivation is going to be planning, because I do plan everything as much as I can. I as I said before in one of my Q&As, I think it was, I have a piece of paper which I write down. I've got the days on there, basically like a diary. I should just get a diary. But it's just a piece of paper with the days and the dates on there. And for my videos, for example, I plan out which videos I'm going to have where, and then I will pre-plan them, make the videos, and I'll set times, days, that I'm going to maybe make this video, right, I'm going to make that Necronomicon video that day, and this day I'm going to do some painting. And I think having a plan done is a great idea, but again, don't make those plans too big. You don't want to say, right, on that day I'm going to paint 10 Space Marines. That obviously something that's going to be doable is what you need to try and plan. Now, when I was saying that, I was thinking of something else which I wanted to say and I've forgotten. I'm sure that will come back to me. So yeah, planning is a huge factor to my motivation. And now I've just remembered. Of course, having my YouTube channel and my blog is huge motivation as well, because let's just say for my blog, for example, my blog, I'm I try to be 4 weeks in front of my posts on my blog. Now I know that sounds like a huge amount, but it means that I have a nice big safety net for writing on my blog posts, because what I tend to do is write a couple of posts each week. If I, for example, say I run out of material, say I go on a holiday and I'm unable to write some posts, I know I've got 4 weeks of posts in the system ready to go. So, you know, if I have 2 weeks holiday, I don't write the blog post, I've still got to come back, I've still got 2 weeks posted in, just knocked the table, and then I can obviously write some more and catch up. So that really obviously helps. Again, that's, I suppose, part of planning. And of course the YouTube channel, having the channel is uber motivational as well. I mean, I was motivational before I had the YouTube channel. You know, I made a huge whatever the word is, what is the word? I don't know. Anyway, when I was painting my Necrons, I self-motivated myself to get the Necrons painted. You know, I've got 7,000 points or so of Necrons. I think it's more than that. 7,000 points of Tyranids. I haven't actually added my Necrons up recently since the new codex, but I'll have to do that. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I painted all of my Necrons up, even though I wasn't doing the YouTube channel. But the YouTube channel definitely helps, because obviously, again, you want to update everyone. You want to see that you're working on stuff. So if you are struggling for motivation, just uploading a video on a YouTube channel can really help, and it's obviously, I find it very enjoyable. But joining in some of the challenges, like the Warbus Tay challenge, some of my challenges, and I do have my New Year painting challenge coming up, so that could be an opportunity to upload your first video. You don't have to upload every day, once a week, once a month, that's fun, whatever, but something like that can actually really help motivate you as well. I have so much motivation myself that I try to help motivate others as well, and I hope that's what I achieve in my YouTube channel. I think probably, to be fair, that's probably what my channel is about motivation. My painting stuff, my tutorial stuff, my shout outs, because getting a shout out, what better motivation to get your next video uploaded when you just had a shout out and you just gained 50 subs, So I try to really motivate people within the community as much as I can, and I hope I'm able to do that. But yeah, it is a tough one. I suppose it's like anything with life. It's all down to the individual. You have to maybe have a look at why you get block. Is it because you've painted too much? I mean, sometimes you could just paint, you paint the same colour, I'm doing Samhan army, I paint red, I'm bored of painting red, and I suppose that comes on to another thing which helps motivate is to switch things up, and that's one advantage of having more than one army. More than one army means I can do one unit from, say, my Eldar, and then once that's done, I can maybe do a unit for my Tyranids. If I get really enthusiastic, I can do another Tyranid unit, and then you've got to paint what you feel like you want to paint. It doesn't matter if you need to paint them or not. I didn't need to paint my Forge World avatar, but I did paint it, because I wanted to paint it. I felt like I wanted to paint it, so I painted it. Don't worry about the fact that you're doing your army, you're working towards 1,000 points, and then all of a sudden, say Age of Sigma comes out, and you really want to paint in that Age of Sigma unit. You don't even play Age of Sigma, but you want to paint it. So don't worry about that. Just set your army aside, paint the Age of Sigma stuff that you want to paint, you're enthusiastic about painting, paint that as like a reward almost. Once that's painted, put it aside. Even if you have something else, say another Age of Sigma unit that you want to paint, don't paint that. Go back to your army, paint something from there. Once you paint something from there, then you can motivate yourself and say, right, okay, well I painted something there, so now I can paint another one of those Age of Sigmas. So effectively what I'm trying to say is, if there's something that you're not too keen on painting, then to and fro from something you're not so keen on to something you are keen on. So you can paint something good and then something bad and then something good and then something bad, almost. Not that I think painting stuff is bad, but you know what I mean. That works really well. Just mixing things up, painting different stuff, different colours, and that's why I love the Eldar actually, because even if you only had an Eldar army, you could paint so many different things, because you've got things like the Eldar Fire Dragons, like they're orange, you can paint those, and you can paint the Wave Serpent, which would be your normal colours, and maybe the next unit you could paint some Dire Avengers, which would be blue. So that is a great thing about Eldar. Thumbs up for Eldar for mixing things up within the painting, because having those aspect warriors is awesome for that. But yeah, I should definitely suggest that mixing things up, even if it is just like a single miniature, a small miniature, you know, offer to paint something up for your buddy, just to change things up for yourself. So I think that's most of what I can think of, certainly at the moment anyway. Like I said, if you've got a reaction to what I've been talking about, some extra ideas that I've not mentioned or haven't thought of mentioning, please feel free to make your own video about motivation. You know, a lot of people do suffer from painter's block or hobby block. I'm very fortunate that I don't, but you know, if we can all help each other out, then why not? Okay, so that's it for this video. As I said, I really hope you enjoyed the little chit chat. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you in the next video.